Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I haven't said that in months. I have not put out a video in a while, mainly because work has been literally insane. I haven't had time to do anything. I haven't had time to even think of ideas and be creative. It's been insane. But I got this idea to film this. Thank you, Nora, for shaking. I got this idea to film this birth control video because I'm going through a lot of things right now with it. So I thought maybe I could share some of this because I think it will be very helpful, and I like watching these kind of videos. I like talking to women about this because we don't talk about it enough, and I just feel like we need to advocate for women's health. It's so important, and there's so many little nuggets and things I didn't know until I am now off birth control and my experience with it. So I just kind of wanted to share that. It is going to be a TMI video, and I am a little bit nervous to film this because it is very personal. Again, it's going to be TMI, so if you're not into that, don't watch this video. We're going to get deep down and personal about our cycles, about birth control, about all the lovely, fun women's health things. So I'm just gonna hop right into it because I feel like I can talk about this forever. But yeah, thank you for clicking on this video, and I'm glad to be back. Feel a little bit awkward because I haven't filmed a video in forever, but here we are. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about is a little bit of my history with birth control, when I got on it, why I got on it, so that the whole video can make sense. So I got on birth control around 18, I think, and mainly and truly and wholly because of my skin. I have never been one of those girls who has great skin. I have horrible skin. I've struggled with it my entire, preteen, teen life up till now, and it's still not great, but yeah. That's why I got on it. It was really bad at the age around 18, and so that's why I got on it. I had tried so many other things, been to the dermatologist. They suggested Accutane. Did not want to do that. That's extreme. And a few of the things that I was already struggling with, Accutane can make that worse, so I decided not to do that, and I decided to get on birth control. And the first birth control that I got on gave me really bad anxiety and depression and some very dark thoughts, so I immediately got off that one and tried a different birth control pill, and I think it was my second or third one that really was the one that kind of stuck with me. So if you're thinking about getting on birth control or you are on birth control pills, try different ones until you feel like you feel most like yourself and not having some crazy side effect, because there is some that make you feel different than others. So I was on birth control consistently until recently, and I got off the birth control pill, January of this year, 2022, and I was 27. I am 27. So I was on it for almost 10 years, 9 years, I think, if I have everything correctly. So that's a long time, and I had tried to get off of it a few times in between those years, just to kind of see how my skin would do, and it would freak out every single time. So I would get right back on it, especially when I was younger, because I wanted, good skin. That was so important to me, and it is still, very important, but there's a lot more important things than how good your skin looks, even though it's a debilitating feeling when you have really bad skin. So up until the wedding, so we got married 2021 last year in October, about 6 months ago, and about a year before the wedding, I had kind of wanted to get off of it. I had been wanting to get off of it for the last couple years, actually, but when I would try, my skin would get really bad, and I really wanted good skin for the wedding. That was important to me, to feel confident in my dress and pick whatever kind of dress I wanted and not get a dress that covered all my skin. So I stayed on it, and then so we got married in October, and in January of this year I decided to get off of it because we do want to start trying to have kids within like a year or so, and it was really important to me that as soon as I got off the pill, we didn't start trying right away, just because I wanted my body to adjust after being on the pill so long. So yeah, I got off of it in January to give my body some time to adjust and figure out, how it's going to react. I'm a little bit older now. The wedding is over. I don't have to have perfect skin, so I'm kind of okay with allowing whatever symptoms and side effects to happen to kind of just let them flow until they hopefully dissipate and everything regulates. Everything is still not regular, and I'll go into that. So that's just a quick little synopsis of the history of birth control for me. I know everyone's different and everyone takes different kinds of birth control. I have never personally tried anything other than birth control pills. And a lot of women don't like birth control pills. They do not feel like themselves. They hate it, and I totally understand. I had an okay experience with it, and I was on it so long that that's kind of what I knew. So definitely try different kinds of birth control if you do not like the pills. You don't have to stay with, you know, one kind or any kind, honestly. I wish I knew a little bit more about birth control pills before I got on the pill. I did not know that you don't ovulate on the pill, which is obvious, right? You get pregnant from ovulating, so the pill suppresses your ovulation. Well, I didn't know that until recently, actually, because you have a period when you're on the pill if you allow yourself to have a period, which I believe that you should have. Not having a period for like 6 months, suppressing it on the pill, to me is just crazy. And actually, I also didn't know that when you have the period on your birth control, when you're on birth control, like the week that you do have the period, it's not a real period. It's called like a withdrawal bleed, I think. Don't quote me, but I think that's what it's called. And so yeah, I didn't know that you don't ovulate and that you don't have a real period. So for, you know, about 9 years, I never ovulated. And so after realizing that, I was like, yeah, I'm ready to get off of it. I'm ready to let my body do its thing. So yeah, got off of it in January, and that brings us to my symptoms getting off birth control. It has been a wild, wild ride. Let me just tell you that, ladies. It has been crazy. But again, I'm excited to be talking about this because I hope that this can help someone, and also it helps me to talk about it. And I want you guys, girls, feedback about this experience, because I've talked to other women around me as well, and we just all have different journeys, but we're all like the same, if that makes sense. Our bodies are beautifully made by God. We have this amazing ability to grow a child within us. And so, but a lot of things encompass that, women's health. And I just feel like, again, it's not talked about enough. So I didn't know some of these things. So hopefully maybe this gives some insight to you. So I got off the pill in January, and it is May. So I've had about 4.5, because it's like middle of May, 4.5 months of being off the pill, and it has been a wild ride. I am going to talk about now my cycles, how they have been affected getting off the pill, and some symptoms I have had. And so to do that, I'm going to be looking at my Flow app. That is what I use to track everything, and this is my form of birth control at the moment, because I can track everything as best as you can. You know, this is not like a foolproof thing, because especially getting off birth control, you're very irregular, and so it's very hard to track something when you're so irregular. But Mike and I are doing the best we can, and it's worked for us so far. So that's how we're keeping track of everything, is by tracking my cycles. So in January, when I got off the pill, I had my first real period. Let's see, in February. So start of February, I had my first real period. So I let my body have its period after the pill, the withdrawal bleed, and then I just didn't start another pack, if that makes sense. That's how I got off of it in January. And I ended up having a 37-day cycle the month of January, which is extremely long. You're supposed to have an average is a 28-day cycle, and I think they say between like 26 days and like 32 days or something like that is considered normal. And it was 37 days. So naturally, of course, I thought I was pregnant the first month I got on birth control, but I wasn't. My body's just adjusting. So yeah, I had my first real period, and I would say it was a normal period. I kind of expected to cramp a lot and have so many other symptoms. I didn't. I would say it was my average kind of period feelings. My skin did start to freak out for the first month or two, but it's actually been okay since then. And I'm actually going to film a skincare routine video pretty soon, kind of talking about how I'm trying to take care of my skin after getting off birth control. It's been doing okay. Again, I'll talk about my skin more in another video, but it's been doing okay, not as bad as I thought, so that is a plus, a blessing. Another positive note, while we're talking about positive note getting off birth control, is hair growth. My hair is so crazy right now, but if you see like look how curly. Okay, this is all new hair growth. This, and I have some over here too. They're just kind of hiding right now, but I have the same thing on this side, and it's very hard to make my hair look cute. That's why I have it up in this clip. But I have had so much hair growth, which is a plus, definitely a positive. So yeah, I thought I would say that. I actually looked it up, and it actually says you can lose hair getting off birth control, I think. But I feel like I have gained hair, so that's just me personally. I don't know if it's birth control pill related, but I assume so because I noticed it as soon as I started getting off birth control, and it's grown pretty fast, as you can tell. That's just a plus. Okay, back to my cycle. So I had that really long cycle, and then I had, I would say, a normal period. But then within the month of February, in the middle of the month, when I was kind of my ovulating time, supposed to be, I had extreme bladder pain, extreme bloating, where Michael almost took me to the ER one night. I didn't know what was going on. He thought perhaps it was appendicitis because he's had appendicitis and had his appendix removed, but I could tell it wasn't that. It felt different than that, and it was extreme. So I went to the doctor, and she said that I perhaps had a ovarian cyst and that it just shed away, because around your ovulation time you can develop one. So anyway, that's a thing of its own. I have no idea if that was birth control related. I think so. I think pretty much everything I'm talking about is going to be birth control related. But yeah, that's just something I experienced. It was horrible. I will just tell you that. It's been a few months now since that happened, so I can't remember everything. But also on this Flow app, you can log your period. You can log, log your symptoms of the day. So like if you're bloating, if you're cramping. So I'm looking at those too. I was very bloated, cramping. You can also log when you're intimate, which is kind of weird, but also I enjoy, because I enjoy having that on the app, because I don't know, I can just keep track of, you know, what we're doing, how we're doing, and what days. It also tells you like your most fertile days, your not so fertile days, so that's how we're keeping track of it, and you can see what days, you know, you had fun, or, you know, okay. So anyway, that was my experience in February. I went to the doctor, of course, because it was so extreme. So make sure you go to the doctor when you are having something or symptoms that you feel like are abnormal, because that is so important. Advocate for your health. I ended up changing doctors within this time frame because I loved my old gynecologist, but her office was so hard to get a hold of, so hard to schedule something right away. It was just, I didn't want to deal with that, especially when we do get pregnant. I want to feel like I can reach out to my doctor right away and, you know, get in fairly soon. And so I've changed doctors now. I love my new doctor. A lot easier to get. I can actually get a hold of the front desk. So definitely advocate for your health. Change doctors if you want to. That is super important. Tell them your goals and what you would like to do. Just advocate for your health. Okay, so within that cycle that was really crazy and had all that bladder issues, I also had a UTI. My first UTI, yay. I've had UTIs, I would say, consistently since getting off the pill, yay. Never had one before. My first one was getting off the pill. So I did research. Apparently UTIs are not related to the birth control pill, but I say somehow it is. I'm not a doctor, but I just feel like within my own body, getting off the pill has either changed my hormone imbalance, obviously, and maybe that's made me more susceptible to get UTIs. That's kind of my theory. I talked to my doctor and she said she's never heard of that, but I mean, I haven't had one until as soon as I got off the pill, and I've had them pretty consistently, and I've been on antibiotics and they haven't worked for me, so that's fun too. So I'm still trying to navigate that. So if you're experiencing UTIs or chronic UTIs, go talk to your doctor. Try antibiotics, but I don't want to be on an antibiotic constantly because that's super bad for other reasons, your gut health, and you can get other kinds of infections from that. So I'm actually going to see a urologist pretty soon and kind of figure out maybe what to do in the UTI area. Yeah, that's a whole nother video. UTIs are not fun. So that cycle where I had all that pain was 26 days, 37 to 26 days, very crazy. So yeah, didn't know quite when I was ovulating, so don't know how I didn't get pregnant, but not pregnant. So now we move on to March, and that cycle was 34 days. So again, a extreme difference, 26, 34 days. It's just all over the place. My period was a little bit worse. I think I had a little bit more cramping, a little bit more bloating. I had some PMS symptoms that were pretty strong. I know within this time frame I had a UTI, but I didn't log any of that bladder pain around ovulation time. Didn't log that, or that I see in March. And now that brings us to April. So we're in May, middle of May, kind of, or it's kind of beginning of May. So April is my last full month that I've just experienced. So that cycle was, let's see, where is it? 26 days coming up to May. So that full April cycle was 26 days. So it is, again, all over the place. Don't really know what's going on. Yeah. So within April, again, I kind of experienced around my ovulation time that bloating and bladder pain. So I just think that, is that what I logged? No. Okay, I did not experience that in April. I logged something else. I thought that's what it was. I think it was in March that I experienced that quite a little bit again, but it was not as bad as it was in February, kind of when I first experienced that. But this last period, so my 26-day cycle, and then I started my period, I thought I was dying. I was on the floor, closed all the blinds because the sunshine bothered me. I was on the floor, felt like I was dying cramp-wise. I mean, it was so bad. I constantly had to go to the restroom, if you know what I mean. And just, it was horrible. I thought something was seriously wrong. Michael came home from work during his lunch break and was like, do I need to take you to the doctor? I'm like, no, I think just really bad period. So just very scary, you know, when something, I've never had it that bad before. And it's kind of funny, not funny, but weird, because I hadn't experienced a really bad period, and I thought I kind of would coming off birth control like right away. But it's been a few months now, and it's just now hitting me that bad. So not quite sure what that means. I haven't talked to my doctor since this new cycle, so I'm gonna tell her that it was extremely bad. There's a few other things that she talked to me about that could be my issues, and she did bring up endometriosis, which is a little bit scary, but I know a lot of women, you know, suffer with that. It can cause, you know, issues with getting pregnant, and a main big symptom is extremely painful periods, and this last period was extremely painful. Like, I would categorize it in one that you would consider extremely bad, painful period. But she said she doesn't know, you know, for sure what's going on, but she said, you know, that's a symptom, is having painful periods. So, you know, if you want to pray over that for me, that would be really great. That is something that, you know, I don't wish on anyone. I hope I don't have that. I hope I don't have trouble getting pregnant, but you never know, and everything's in God's timing and for his reason and for his purpose. But if you just want to like pray over that for me, that would be great. So that's kind of up to date with my cycles and my symptoms and things like that from my period. And yes, I honestly do think everything is birth control related. So I just kind of wanted to share some of the symptoms getting off of it. And so it's been, you know, 4.5 months, and I'm still not regular with everything. So I am really glad that I got off birth control when I did, to let my body have some time to adjust and figure out what the heck is going on before we do start trying to have kids, because I just feel like it will be at its best. You know, I could get pregnant within this time frame anytime. I'm not in control, but again, I'm leaving that up to God. But I'm just glad I kind of, you know, took care of what I needed to, and I'm taking care of what I need to, trying to take care of my body as best as I can by just, you know, trying to go natural for a little while. So I just kind of wanted to make this video and encourage you guys and give some insight and just be real and honest about what I've kind of gone through, because again, I've talked to some other women about some of these symptoms, and I just feel like it's so common, but we don't really talk about it that much. So it's kind of like a hush subject, because, you know, it is personal and a little bit of a lot of information, but pretty much every woman struggles with one or a couple or all of these issues, and it's just nice to know that we're not alone. So I just wanted to make this video to share and encourage you guys. Do your research on birth control if you want to take birth control, effects of coming off birth control, you know, tracking things, and taking care of that. I just feel like for me right now in this season of life, I love that I've gone off birth control. Yes, it has sucked, honestly, constantly, but I'm glad I'm, again, letting my body go through whatever it wants to, and I'm learning actually a lot about my body as well, and my cycle and things like that, by keeping track of it and logging symptoms and going to the doctor and getting their advice and learning more. And I just always want to take care of my body and do what's best for that, and, you know, what's best for the future too. So I hope this video was encouraging and insightful and helpful. If there is any other questions or topics that you guys have or want me to talk about, comment down below or message me on Instagram, because I think these chatty girly talk videos are really important and fun to watch. Yeah, it was kind of fun to sit down, even though it was very personal about my period cycle, and intimate time and stuff like that. But I hope you guys liked this video, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.